Hey there, Carnage Cravers. Let's talk about the Ahoska series. So let me preface this. I believe I have one more episode of this series to watch. I don't think it's dropped yet. I don't think it drops till Wednesday. So, anyways, so there's one episode left for me to watch, but I've been meaning to talk about this for a little while. Now, I remember very much liking the character of Ahoska in the Clone Wars. And even in Rebels, the character was a little different, but it was very clear that it was, still the same character, a little older, a little wiser, stuff like that. And so I liked the character. They had Ahsoka show up in The Mandalorian, and I was a little iffy about it, The character didn't quite feel the same, But I was kind of hoping that they would have had whatever bugs they were working out worked out by the time they actually got to the Ahsoka series. They have put forth a lot of effort and done a very good job at making Rosario Dawson look like she stepped out of the animation. You look at her and there is no question who that is supposed to be. Got it. Get it? Got it. Good. However, the character's not the same. There's a drastic change that I am having trouble putting my finger on between the character that we knew in Clone Wars and even Rebels and the character that we're seeing on the screen now. I mean, and when I say a drastic change, I am talking about the drastic change between Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi versus Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. The change is so drastic. There's fucking whiplash. So there's just so many things going on that don't necessarily make sense. And perhaps they will when they wrap it up. I don't know. But and it's little things. And unfortunately, the little things are things that often matter to me, perhaps too much. Like something as dumb as the way she runs. They've got Rosario Dawson running, and she's running, shoulders squared and leaned back, almost like, like her feet are 9-10 inches in front of her shoulders. It looks funny, and I don't know why they got her running that way. I don't know if that's the way Rosario Dawson runs, but if you go back and you watch any of the animation, whenever Ahsoka had to run, she was streamlined. It was head down, shoulders not squared. When she ran, her shoulders moved and she cut through the air. She almost became a straight line with the way she ran and the way she moved. Like a distance runner, like a sprinter. now they got Ahsoka running like a fucking linebacker. It doesn't. It was a jarring difference when I saw it. It really bothered me for some dumb reason. I don't know. But there are other issues with this show aside from what they've done. What they've done with the Ahsoka character. The whole thing with Sabine is weird because Sabine, for the life of me, I cannot remember Sabine ever having any type of relationship like this with Ahsoka. I also do not recall Sabine ever being a prospective Jedi at all. Yeah, Kanan was trying to teach her how to use the Darksaber. And that didn't go very well either. You know, like it's... I don't know. It just... There's a lot of it that doesn't... There's a lot of it that's not great. And it doesn't necessarily make sense. And now they're doing this thing where they're like, oh... You know, they're trying to make it so, like, Ahsoka said something to Sabine along the lines of, she basically made it sound like anybody can use the Force as long as they try and they practice. Which, you know, if that was true, like, that's not the way they ever made it seem. You know, there were people who just had a predisposition to it. And whether you like it or not, George set it up so that this was an innate skill. It was genetic. It was something that you either was passed down to you from a parent. You know, it was in your lineage. It was in your blood. And that makes a lot more sense than trying to say that, oh, anybody can do it if they try hard enough. Please, save me the participation trophy bullshit. I'm not here for it. It's just... Ugh. And don't get me started on Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now they got the same fellow who voiced him for Rebels, and that's great. The voice is great. There's no problem with the voice. I don't like the way he looks because he doesn't look like the animation. His head's a different shape. I get it. Like, animation's hard to replicate, but to be fair. There are people, there are actors, there are people out there with the kind of features that Grand Admiral Thrawn had. Yes, granted, they're not blue, but, you know, that neither is the guy playing him now. So, it's the difference, again, the difference to me is jarring. And part of the problem with trying to go from an animation to a live action. And, you know, you might say to me, well, just accept that in this medium it looks different. And I'll say to you, okay, but it's, I'm having real trouble with that one. I'm having real trouble with it, you know, for whatever reason. This is not Dave Filoni's best work. This doesn't feel like an original story, and this doesn't feel like a well-told story. This feels like a group of over-enthusiastic and under-talented fans said, "Oh, there's this hole where we don't know what happens. Let's tell a story. We can fill in the blanks." Like, this isn't good. It's just not good. Because I'm sorry, if the highlight of your series is a portrayal done by Hayden Christensen, your series sucks. Look, from everything I've heard, Hayden Christensen seems to be a really nice guy, great guy. But let's not pretend he's a fantastic actor. If his portrayal is the highlight of your series blows. I'm sorry. It just does. I don't think anybody looking at this and being honest with themselves is actually enjoying this. Now, maybe I'm wrong. But those of you that are enjoying the fuck out of it, I'm willing to bet you're running on nostalgia and fan service. Because this story is not good. This story is not good. I was on board with The Mandalorian for a lot of that. Admittedly, I had some trouble with the Book of Boba Fett. I will fully admit that. I had a little bit of trouble with the Book of Boba Fett. But this isn't good. I'm not enjoying this at all. And it's just not right. I mean, I'm going to finish the series, obviously. I'm waiting on that last episode, but it could be up for all I know. I haven't had a chance to check, but this is... There's just something not right. That being said, if you enjoyed the characters from Star Wars Rebels, you may want to watch this. Because I don't expect you to take my word for it that it's horrible. Because maybe you'll watch it and maybe you'll enjoy it. Speaking of, I have some questions about how genetics work. Because Jason is the son of Kanan Jarrus, a human, and Hera Syndulla, who is a Twi'lek, or Twi'lek, however the fuck you pronounce it. So how does brown-haired human and green-skinned alien with head tails create green-haired human? Like, does the kid have head tails underneath his hair? Like, how does the genetics shape up? This is the first time we've seen an interspecies character in Star Wars that I can recall. And I'm not against the idea, but I have questions about the logistics of it and how it works. Okay? You know, in the real world, when humans of, different races copulate and create offspring, that offspring usually exhibits signs from both. Now, those signs may show themselves in different ways depending on how the genetics all fit together. I'm trying to make sense of it, because right now it looks like all this kid got from his mom is green pigmentation, and it's just centered in his hair. I don't know. I have questions. If anything, I'd like to know more about how that works. How did the genetics of that work? Actually, that's more interesting to me than the bullshit they're doing with Sabine. But neither here nor there. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent there. But like that's you ever watch something and then there's something and you're like, well, how does that work? And then that's all. And then like you keep going back to that because it never gets answered. And they probably won't answer it. They just want us to accept it. And that's all well and good. I mean, maybe they'll do something interesting with the kid. Like let him get killed by Kylo Ren, at Luke's freaking Jedi temple, Jedi school, whatever it is. I so hate what they did in the sequel trilogy. And they're using these shows to try and make it better and make it make sense, and it doesn't make sense. But that's neither here nor there. If you enjoyed Rebels, maybe you should at least give the series a try, because again, you may have a different take on it than I do. But for those of you who cared enough about what I think to listen to the end of the review, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, I'm not big on rewatching things. But there are things that if, somebody had never seen it, I'd be willing to sit down and rewatch it with them. This is not one of those things. I have zero fucking interest in rewatching this. So, anyways, that is my review on the Ahsoka series as far. And unless something drastic happens in the final episode, I don't think I'm even going to revisit this for that. That being said, feel free to drop down in the comment section. Tell me what you think of the series. Tell me what you think of what I think of the series. Tell me, do you agree with me? Tell me I'm way off base. Tell me I'm horrible. Say whatever you want. It's America. Free speech. Yay. Okay, so until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am Ken Carnage, and always remember that carnage is right around the corner.